Hello my sweeties and welcome back to my channel. If you don't already know me, my name is Elise and thank you for joining my spooky little family. In today's video, we will be reviewing Smile. Let's get into the video. Written and directed by Parker Finn, starring Sosie Bacon, Jesse T. Usher, Caitlin Stasey, and Kyle Gallner, Smile follows Dr. Rose Cotter, who, after witnessing the bizarre suicide of a patient, goes through increasingly disturbing and daunting experiences, leading her to believe that what she is experiencing is supernatural. Okay, so if you've seen Smile this weekend, hi, how are you? How are you coping? So before we get into performances today, I want to talk a little bit about the short film that Smile was based on. Smile is actually based on a short film also written and directed by Parker Finn, which is titled Laura Hasn't Slept, which is essentially the prequel to what came of this film. This short actually also stars Caitlin Stasey playing the character of Laura, whom you see in Smile as Rose's patient. Actually, Caitlin Stasey's performance is very, very good, and she is only in Smile for a few minutes, and she does so incredibly well with the little that is given to her. Her scene in particular was one that really creeped me out. She was very convincing as this character, and it just feels like she really knew the part, and I really appreciated that. I actually would really love to see the short film. I actually cannot find it online. If anyone has any idea where I can watch the short, please let me know in the comments down below. I am super curious. While Caitlin Stasey is amazing, I do really want to highlight Sosie Bacon in this film. I think that Sosie Bacon does an amazing job. This is actually her first leading role in a feature film, and I think that she was amazing, and I really hope to see her in more horror films because there were just some moments of her just having to react that were so incredible. She is very powerful on the screen. She's very charismatic, and also she's incredibly beautiful. Yes, I am super gay. And a little fun fact for you, if you didn't already know, Sosie Bacon is actually the daughter of Kevin Bacon. The more you know. Not only did I really like Sosie's performance, I really enjoyed the character of Rose Cotter. I thought she was a very fleshed out character that had a lot of layers, and I felt like Sosie really brought all of that out. Now, Kyle Gallner is also in this film, and if you've been a watcher of this channel for a while, then you know I am a big Kyle Gallner fan. I love Jennifer's Body. I also really like The Haunting in Connecticut. Like, I know not everyone thinks that movie is great, but I don't care. It was like Kyle Gallner's first film, I think, and he was great. Anyway, Kyle Gallner is really great here. I think he's very natural, and again, he's also very beautiful. And I'm very bisexual. Actually, a funny story. Let me tell you a little bit about my experience going to see Smile in the theater. So before going to the theater, we'll take a little detour. Before going to the theater, I went into a Target and I found this. I have to show you guys. Oh, I think Rocco's gonna bring it. Yeah! So I went into a Target and I found this Squishmallow. If y'all know me, I fucking love Squishmallows. I am a Squishmallow girly, okay? I found the Peppermint Mocha Squishmallow. Her name is Marsha. And do you see how big she is? Like, she's big. So I bought her at the Target, and then I had no time to go back and put Miss Marsha in the car. So I was like, well, I guess Marsha is coming with me to see Smile. And I have to tell you the truth. I was a bisexual girly thriving. I had not only my Squishmallow for protection, but I got to watch Sosie Bacon and Kyle Gallner on the screen. I was deceased. But anyways, back to the film. Maybe I should just hold the squishy here. Should I just hold Marsha and like talk with y'all here? I'm actually really happy that I had Miss Marsha here because I did not think that I would be afraid or even really think much of this film. I went in with an open mind. I was hearing a lot of good reviews, and I did really love the marketing of this film. They actually had some actors go to a baseball game and do the smile, and they were wearing smile shirts. And I just love when horror movies really go for that kind of marketing. I think it's really fun, and I don't know, there was a lot of really fun things about this film. I did not know how much I would really need the Squishmallow because there is actually a lot of haunting imagery in this movie. And I feel like the trailer for this film didn't really make me think that it would be genuinely scary. I kind of just thought, oh, okay, it's gonna be like campy and like fun. But when you really watch this film is quite dark and it's like very mean-spirited. While I have heard a lot of comparisons to It Follows and The Ring, which I can see a lot of similarities, I do think that Smile does do a lot of things differently. I really enjoyed the exploration of trauma and the way it affects our body. I felt like it was very relatable, and that's another reason why I felt very thankful for my Squishmallow, because I really didn't think I'd come out of this film saying, wow, that one hit a little too close to home for me, and I'm not going to be able to think straight for a couple days. Which, like, I feel so silly saying that because that doesn't particularly happen to me with horror movies often, but when it does, I know that it's special. Now, a lot of what Smile focuses on is trauma and how we deal with trauma. And I think specifically what makes Rose so relatable for me is that a lot of her trauma, which I do not want to spoil, was very personal to me. So a lot of it kind of felt like, whoa, was this like somehow written for me? Like, does this person know my thoughts? And that is why we all need Marshas. Another thing that was really nice about this film is the way it's shot. I love just the composition of shots, the way it's colored. This is an amazing thing that they do in the film where they use pink and blue, and it's absolutely stunning. I don't know if anyone else that has seen the film noticed this, but it's very interesting that Rose, the entire film, always wears blue, and then her sister is always wearing pink. And I think that that's very, very interesting. I just love that. I wonder what's the entire thing behind that. Also, if I remember correctly, a lot of the hospital is pink and blue as well. So that was really interesting. I think those colors must be important, but I'm not too sure what they mean. Perhaps another watch I will pick up on it. Quick, somebody at the director so I can like ask Parker Finn what this means. I'm still trying to like figure everything out about this. There were a lot of close-up shots of Sosie Bacon that were really cool also, which I know from a acting standpoint, it must be very difficult to have to just act to the camera. And a lot of it I saw was her alone, kind of just reacting. And that is something that is very difficult to do. It is so difficult to act alone. So I thought she did an amazing job with that. A lot of her screaming and a lot of her being scared. I thought it was very genuine. I thought it was very good. Now, while I enjoyed Smile a lot, I can understand why some wouldn't. This film definitely is great at building this immediate sense of dread. I think the director does an amazing job at that. Immediately you feel something off from the very beginning of the film. But with this, there are moments where there is some dark comedy and some camp. I personally am a big fan of that, and I thought it did a great job at kind of balancing each other out. But I do understand how to some that can be a bit odd and jarring, but I think it really does work here pretty well. The script, I think, is quite well written, and it seems like the tone was very well understood. In terms of the story, I really enjoyed it. I do think that there were some moments in the film, especially towards the end, that was getting a little slow for me. There were some moments that felt a little draggy. But ultimately, that's me kind of nitpicking. I don't think that really ruins the film. I can understand how some people may not like the ending to this film. I think once I got out of the theater, I did have like a mixed feeling on the ending, which again, I do want to keep this spoiler free, so I'm not going to say what the ending is. But at first I was like, oh, okay. Well, I don't know how I feel about that because I kind of wanted this to happen. And then I sat with the film. First of all, after this film, I somehow couldn't stop thinking about it. So already I knew that they did a great job with this because usually if I'm feeling like I don't like something or the film was just okay, I don't really think about it, and I thought about this film for the rest of the weekend. And the more I think about the film, the more I understand why they went with that ending, and I do think the ending specifically is what makes me say that this film is quite mean-spirited and dark, because I guess I was just expecting a more hopeful ending, question mark. I know we're watching horror films, so why am I expecting a hopeful ending in the first place? Someone's gonna tell me that in the comment section. Now, I don't think that Smile is a groundbreaking film by any means, but it is a very good horror film. It's fun, it's a little campy, it's dark, and it certainly has a lot of great jump scares. Now, this film is very jump scare heavy, but I think that a lot of the jump scares here are actually done quite well, and I'm not really a fan of jump scares, but here they are very effective. Not only that, but there's so much just haunting imagery that it just all works so well together. If you are going into Smile thinking it is like that awful film Truth or Dare from a couple years ago, it is actually really nothing like that film. I think the only similarity is the smiling, because story-wise, there's nothing really, well, there are some things slightly similar, I guess, but not really. In terms of tone and atmosphere, these films are very different. Actually, speaking of the title of Smile, there is one thing I wanted to talk about. This film was actually supposed to be called Something's Wrong with Rose, and for some reason, I feel like I would have preferred that. I'm not too sure why they ended up going with the title Smile, but I feel like Something's Wrong with Rose sounds so much more interesting. But I do think that the title Smile is kind of just fun and campy, so I accept that, and I think it works for what the film was about. And now I'm going to put my Squishmallow down and I am here to tell you that I really enjoyed this film. I'm super excited to see more of what Parker Finn does. I'm very excited to see more from Sosie Bacon. I hope we get to see her in more horror films, and I hope she has a lot more leading roles. I'm pretty sure after hearing all the praise about her performance in this film, she is going to be getting a lot of phone calls for future horror films. I'm so excited to see it. And with that, I am going to be giving Smile... Yeah, I am. I am going to be giving Smile 4 Levs out of 5. I think this film is dark, I think it's campy, I think it's fun, and I think it's one that you should not sleep on. If you are like me and you have always been scared of people smiling at you for a little too long, this is gonna be the one for you. All right, you guys, that is it for today's video. Thank you so much for watching. Don't forget to like and subscribe, as it really helps me a lot. And be sure to click that little notification bell to be up to date every single time I upload. And let me know in the comments, have you seen Smile? What did you think of it? Was it for you? Was it not for you? I'd love to talk about it. Thanks so much for watching. And me and Marsha, the Peppermint Mocha Squishmallow, will see you guys in the next one. Bye.